Brazos County Commissioner Court Workshop will continue. Ms. Payne, thank you for the 5-minute recess.
You're welcome. I want to keep everybody happy. Kind of.
I was going to say, how are you
Bring
going to do
snacks.
Yes. Well, I'm going to request a popcorn machine for the new court. Okay.
And margaritas.
I can't condone drinking, but it might make this place a happier place. Okay, so now we're going to prioritize all this wonderful requests that we have heard by each department, and what I am needing help with is to make the budget kind of final. Okay, so when we're proposing, I have went ahead and prioritized what I thought was a priority based on data I have received, because if they don't provide data, it's hard for me to make a decision, because it's just a want, but it's a thin air request. I need some sort of supporting documentation, why they're needing this request, why it needs to be increased, decreased, or deleted, or a new position. So as we're going to go through, we're going to briefly evaluate each position. Number 1, county judge. This is to increase the public communication officer from part-time to full-time. Yes, it's a cost of $72,000, and I do believe it is a need, because with our community growing, we do need to put ourselves out front for the public to, we need to be presented well, and a full-time job is needed. I put this as a priority 1. What is your thoughts?
Commissioners?
Yes, we need
Agreed.
this.
Absolutely agree. We need to tell the story to county residents about the value they're getting for their tax dollars.
Commissioner Nettles, will you turn your mic back on and
Sorry.
give that eloquent statement one more time?
So I think it's important that we are transparent, share information with the residents about the value, what their county is doing, how they're spending their tax dollars, and this person can certainly help us do that.
Agreed.
Yay.
Yep.
But to do that, we're going to have to do a tremendous upgrade on our website.
I believe,
Everything that we do.
And it is underway.
yes.
Yes.
We want the public to realize that. That question came up in court the other day. We are almost at the final stages to release that.
Because in my understanding is we went, 3-4 years without a web person, and we finally got a web person. So in combination with all of this, in terms of us being more transparent and being able to get our message out, this will go hand in hand with that.
We got a web person that built a beautiful site for another governmental agency
Next door.
Yep.
next door.
And we were finally able to
Sorry,
lure
guys.
them over.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one is going to be risk management. This is to create the ADA coordinator with a total cost of $100,801. I put this as a priority as a direction by Commissioners Court.
Right.
Okay? This is a priority 1
Commissioners?
It
Yes.
keeps us out of that very expensive
contract.
Yep.
by doing it in-house.
Right.
Next up is going to be information technology. They're wanting to change a position from hourly to salary. It is not a cost to the county, and I put that as a priority 1.
Yes.
Sure.
Next up is going to be project management. This is to create a position, project coordinator. I know the direction of the court was to create the position around $65,000. The individual department have requested a little higher due to hoping to find a certain,
Being competitive in salary.
and so yes, it is
Yeah.
increased to the budget of $119,000. The salary ranges from $65,000 to $77,000 at the max.
And I think part of this goes back to a number of conversations you have with our various departments of the difficulty of being competitive and trying to hire for the county. And I know that we have budget constraints, but we also have unfilled positions that we need to get filled. And so we've got to be able to try to be somewhat within the range of competitive with other governmental entities and other, hiring entities.
Agree. So I'll put this as a priority 1. The next is going, sorry.
Nope, just making sure.
Yeah.
Continue.
Next is going to be project management. It is a title change from assistant project manager to project manager, no cost to the county. So I'll put this as a priority 1.
Okay?
Commissioners?
Yep.
Okay?
The next is going to be human resources, where they're deleting to create several positions, no cost to the county. I'll put these as a priority 1 since they're really just title changes. Thoughts, communication, questions?
Good with that?
Continue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The next is going to be county attorney. This is to delete an investigator due to the need is not there. It is a savings to the county of $120,000. I put that as a priority 1 with a lot of stars.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Why isn't it going down? Next up is going to be the supplement for the county attorney. We had this discussion yesterday. It's based on Senate Bill 293. It is a savings to their salary of $27,374, but we had to move that into the operations cost. So you'll see the increase there when we discuss this budget.
Correct. Commissioners, any comments?
No
Right.
comments.
Thank you.
Got to do it by law or statute.
Correct. District attorney, this is an increase due to, yes, due to the Senate Bill 293. It's an increase to the county of $8,736 due to the Senate Bill 293. I put this as a priority 1.
Okay.
The next is to delete to create a position, going from a legal administrative secretary to a digital evidence coordinator. This is a 0 cost to the county.
Okay.
Commissioners? Thank you.
I'm good.
Proceed.
The district clerk have requested a position, but it was removed the other day, so that's why it's a strike through. The next is a county clerk. It is a delete to create a position, to delete a county clerk 2, to create a county clerk 3, no cost to the county. And I put that as a priority. The next 4 are due to the Senate Bill 293 for the district judges. Each is an individual increase of $8,735 with a total for them of $34,000. I put that as a priority based on the statute that was passed.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. Now we're going to get into 472nd, the individual increases based on a salary grade change for the court coordinator. Total increase is $17,780.
I have a real problem with going from a step 2 to a step 10 in one fatal swoop.
But if you remember, the discussion was that
No, I remember.
well, but
Go ahead and
the
state what
reason that it was set was not because of his fault. The judge was just trying to get him up and get that court up and going, and that's how they had to start. And so now they're bringing it into parity with everyone else.
Correct.
I understand. I still have a problem with it. but-
May I?
Yes, please.
It was not brought to anybody's attention yesterday that in the discussion of creating this division, we had asked Judge Weiss to come back and visit with, at that time it was Katie Connor, she was a budget officer, to see if we need to adjust these salaries, because at that time we could, and it was not brought to our attention. He missed the request last year, and so there was no request last year. This year he met the deadline to request these positions to be increased. Take note that the comparisons that he's using across the other district judges, those positions have had merit throughout the year, so that's why there's an inflation to those positions. So he's not comparing cost to cost, years of experience, and so he's just comparing what that position's making. And that's why it's very important for us to go out for a salary study,
Go out
Yeah.
for a salary
or
study.
compensation study.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can hold this till the compensation study's done?
Yep, because I might do something different than another one, but I want to be paid the same amount, which is, we
But we
need,
haven't finalized the request
Nope.
for the salary study.
not yet. If
But
we
it's
did,
becoming more obvious that compensation study is necessary to get out of the group and step and the issues that we have with retention and correct compensation across the board for all our team members.
So in the meantime, these folks that are in this position will only get COLA?
that is the goal for this year, is to give everybody a COLA and keep everything flat until we can get this compensation study approved. Any-
Commissioners?
I think it's, Judge made great point that that court was put together with bare bones budget.
Yep.
Hasn't had the increases, that sort of thing. I totally agree, but again, in lieu of a compensation study, I think the compensation study is probably going to come back and actually help those employees potentially even more. Also, I'd be really interested to, number of employees, is compensation going to cover that? Number of employees, do we have too many here? Do we not enough there? Or is it just compensation?
It's just compensation.
So that'll be up to directors, but, or staff, but the idea that we do nothing, I'm not for, but the idea that we do this compensation study so we can get to the point that we're doing everything fairly, I'm wholly for, so.
Correct. But I think with the question you just proposed of number of employees in each department will be part of the master plan that we approved the other
That's
day as
exactly
well.
right.
So
Right.
the master plan and compensation study will help us move forward more effectively, efficiently, and financially responsible
Yep.
I do want to
for
make it,
retention and correct compensations to be competitive across the board in the new Brazos
If we
County.
move forward with both of those as an official court action, I would love for that to be released to the public. You know,
Correct. Oh, definitely.
again, that's telling the story of what the county's trying to do to be responsible with the taxpayer money and
I agree
transparency.
100%. I also want to make a note that there was no caseload data provided from this court to support the increases. He was just comparing other positions.
Sure,
Okay?
sure.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So for all the requests for First 72nd will not be in the proposed budget. Let me go. The next is going to be the juvenile court referee. This is Judge Swan. It was a salary grade change that changed from salary grade change to stipend, which increased the budget to $20,590. I did not put this as a priority. I do think that this should be part of the compensation study as well.
Commissioners, any
I
comments?
like that. I like that we're going to look at that. So many of these things, I like that we're going to look at them. If it's not today being part of the budget, that we're looking at them, I think that's key.
There's a lot of things that we do need to look at. Like I said, do we need to give bonuses to CDL drivers? Yes. Do we need to sit there and look at if we could give stipends for translators throughout the county? Yes. But I need to make sure that the court is willing to do it and we have money to do it as well.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And if
And
there's-
it's not, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if there's technology that maybe could even
Oh, definitely.
prevent us from having to continue to pay.
Commissioner Brown?
And it's not fair to other employees when we give a group of employees a nine-step increase, just like that. So I'm glad that we're going to do the study.
But in this case, you have a person who is doing 2-3 jobs. It sounds like she's court coordinator, translator, secretary for that judge. It's just the two of them, it seems like. And so while our system is not a good system to acknowledge or reward that, you still have a person in that position who is technically doing 3 jobs. So how do you offset, how do you compensate for that?
This position has received merit every single year it was awarded because there's only one person in that department. And so this position has received merit every single year. Every single year. When other departments had to sit there and say no to some positions, this person in this position has received merit every single year that the county has awarded it.
Well, they received the full merit of that
Full
department.
merit.
Yeah. Where other departments had to say no to people or split it. Right.
See, that wasn't brought up, though.
But that's part of the compensation study. I mean, this is an employee
Yeah, but I'm
who-
saying, in this particular, this unique
example
situation
of
that we're
why.
talking about.
Yeah, it's a good example of why we need
Why
that
we need
study.
to do-
Well, I mean, I agree with why we need it. I'm just saying.
Sure, sure.
In hearing, so, because you didn't have that information, but hearing that this person is literally doing 3 jobs.
I have to pick and choose when to air laundry. And
What?
so I have to pick and choose how much information
I understand, but when it
Disclose.
came out that she was doing 3 jobs without knowing that she's the, again, I forget about the merit and all of that stuff. So I hadn't thought about the merit. I know about the cost of living.
Is she doing these 3 jobs? Most definitely. Does she need to be awarded for it? Yes. But I think we need to do it the right way and set it the correct way because she's not the only court coordinator in this county.
I understand.
And we need to look at all of them because they all have the
understand.
same duties. And
But in-
so,
But in this case, that is the information that was
Yes.
brought
Yes, ma'am.
forward. If other court coordinators are doing similar kinds of things, then that needed to come forward.
Yes.
So all we know about is this particular position, and
That's the
that's
only
all I'm
request.
saying. How do we justify, document, pay properly a person who is doing 3 positions? If other court coordinators are doing 3 jobs and their
getting
judges or whomever
compensated.
didn't come forward and say, I have a super person right now,
Mm-hmm.
then
it's their loss. Yes. And so
Permit.
that's why during the compensation study, I believe the job descriptions will be reviewed too. Because right now you could just put whatever you want on it and court passes it.
But you're talking about the job study, the compensation study, and, we're maybe a year and a half to 2 years out from that? Potentially.
We have to approve the compensation study first.
Exactly, it hadn't even been approved,
Okay.
and it's a
You
lot
have
of
full
money.
permission to air any and all laundry that keeps us being
I
able
need
to
a
make
long
good
clothesline.
objective.
Yeah, I'm not going after you, I'm just
I know.
saying, you know, this is the information we have. I'm looking at it from the information that I received yesterday. And so I'm speaking up to
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
how do we compensate a person who is doing 3 jobs? You now have given additional information,
Yes, ma'am.
but even with merits, you know, the person is still doing 3 jobs.
Yes, and we forget about the merit award, and that's why we want to correct that as well. Instead of giving it to the position, we need to give it to the person directly.
I certainly appreciate the department heads and the judges coming advocating for their people. I fully expect that. And I think that speaks well for the supervisors and the employees that we have here in the county. However, there's no money tree out there, and we have to balance it across the budget that we can do for everybody.
Well said.
May I move forward?
Ma'am,
Any other questions?
commissioners, Commissioner
Nope.
Watson, thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Bennett, Nettles, thank you for clarifying. Ms. Payne, continue.
Okay.
The next up is going to be for Family Associate Court. This is Judge Hensterling. She has requested a administrative secretary to be in her court. Full amount is $93,625. The felony court does not have administrative secretary, so it's kind of like if you do one, you do the other. I do think that when a position's requested, I think that department should do a time study to show that the need for a new position has been, is needed. I can't direct that. I can ask for it, but I can't make them do it. And so I think that moving forward, if a position is being requested, I do think the time study needs to be evaluated for that department to show true need for it.
Good idea.
Commissioners?
Agreed, yeah, I think a time study would be helpful.
Yeah.
Because if the data's there to support it, then the data's there to support it.
The next is going to be a family associate court, same thing, salary grade change for the court coordinator, a $12,000 increase. The same thing with all the other court coordinators. I think we need to sit there and have the conversation, help us align it to where we have a good range based on experience, based on certifications, and I think that's the goal that we need to achieve this next year.
Agreed.
The next is going to be the county court outlaw 1 and 2. These are the positions that we're going to move out of county court outlaw 1 and county court outlaw 2 regarding probate and guardianship into its own division. So it's better to help us associate a true cost of this probate and guardianship. And so those divisions are being moved and created into a new division, no cost to the county. It's just different accounting structure. The other 2 requests for the County Court at Law 1 and County Court at Law 2 is based on the Senate Bill 293. Yes, it's an increase, but it's also based on their years of service sitting at the bench that we had to abide by. And so those are all priority ones. Do you have
Commissioners?
questions?
No questions.
None.
The next up is going to be Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. Judge Booger had came in and did his presentation regarding the court coordinator to increase it to $18,895. During our budget workshop, I did request additional data to show how many juvenile cases have ran through since January based on the statute, and I have yet to receive that number.
But in the discussion with that, were they saying that they would add this duty, oh gosh, I can't forget what they called it. They were going to add, rather than hiring a new person, they were going to add that duty to that position. So this person would be doing additional work.
Right,
For
and-
for the newly created required, oh God.
For the statute, yes.
I don't have my notes, yeah.
No, it's for the juvenile statute. Yes, it was as of January 1st, but the other 3 justices of the peace have yet to come forward to ask for an increase for the court coordinator. So if you do this, you need to do it for the others. Because it's a statute for all justices of the
know,
peace.
I know.
And I think it needs to be aligned with the compensation study to get a true evaluation.
Okay.
The next one is going to be the Sheriff's Office. This is a grant match. Of course, we have a current grant called Human Trafficking. We have an estimated $90,000 that will roll into next year to help offset the costs. This is a priority 1, so we can use the rest of the funding. So I'll have to transfer from the general fund to the grant fund $153,000. Keep in mind, in 2027, they'll come back, and since we're already absorbing a good portion of it, they'll come back to the court and ask for the rest of the salaries to be absorbed. Okay? That is a party one. The next is going to be the sheriff's office salary grade for the lieutenant positions. This is an increase of $74,532. At this moment, it's not a party in the proposed budget. I'd like to hear if there's any discussion.
Commissioners?
And the salary study would address these as well. I hate to pin so much on the salary study,
That is not even in effect.
and
But I'd like to see what the difference is between the 4% COLA and the proposed amount here, if that's possible.
Well, I think they said 6% because they were going to 10. The 4% was included. I support law enforcement. I just think we need to move toward a market study, determine, okay, how does this compare to the counties around us? How does it compare? I mean, we're never going to compete with the big counties. But if you want to move to Harris County instead of Brazos County, that's on you. I don't know how to deal with that.
good luck.
So, but we want to make sure that our law enforcement folks are taken care of.
Absolutely.
Well, I think our SO, you talk about response time. SO's response time is great. They're wonderful to work with. I don't like that there's not a financial, that there's potentially not a financial reason to go from sergeant to lieutenant. I'd like our salary study to address these things, so I'm going to be a little shy about making changes personally. I'm only one of 5, but I really want to see us adopt a salary study and expeditiously get through it and address things like this that might need to be addressed.
I'd rather for the salary study to help us out because I don't want us to make decisions this year and to go back on it next year. And those positions might have to be freezed or capped out, or we have to decrease them because we gave them too much. And so I think this year we need to stay tight, follow, really, and move forward on the compensation study. Because the compensation study, if it's done, I won't be bringing all these individual increases to you. They should be on a range. HR should bring compensation evaluations based on those ranges to the court, and we adjust that. We shouldn't be hearing all these individual increases on these positions. It should be more defined.
Correct. And that is our goal, to pay and retain people to the expectation level and to what their performance is. And we're not in a position to do that currently.
I'm very interested in that, the jail positions as well. I mean, something that Sheriff Dickey said to me that back in 2020 that stands in my mind is he's competing against Buc-ee's. You can go work at Buc-ee's for what he can pay you, and nobody's trying to kill you. So plus all those beaver nuggets. So, but I'd like, you work at the jail because you have a duty or want to help in that position and in that important work. But I would like to see them paid what they deserve, and I think the salary study may address this better than this individual ask.
And for lieutenants, it was a 10% plus the 4%. That includes a 4% cost of living.
Yeah, 6 over COLA, right.
Okay. The next two, it's a party in the budget. It's a zero cost to the county. This request is to move the 2 recruiting specialists from the sheriff's office admin to the jail to where they could really benefit the jail in recruiting. Zero cost. I'm losing my mouse. The next one is going to be sheriff's office, same thing, lieutenants, the detention officers, to increase your salary ranges, which would have been a little bit over $600,000. I think this should be part of the compensation study as well.
Mm-hmm.
The next is going to be the request for the administrative secretary for the sheriff's office to increase total cost of $19,314. This is the biggest issue in the county regarding all administrative secretaries across all departments that we truly need to pinpoint in this compensation study so it could be fair.
Correct. Commissioners?
Okay, moving forward is going to, yes, this is a big change. This is the Sheriff's Office Jail Medical, moving that staff into the new division of Jail Correctional Medicine. Yes, it's a decrease of 1.3, but we're having to create and restructure different ranges to help offset the cost, which is like $600,000. Keep in mind that there's 5 positions that will be unfunded next year to help offset the costs. And then as we move forward, when these positions start to get filled, just like I handle it in the jail, I will open up those positions for funding. Currently in the jail, we have probably about 30 positions unfunded. And as we get those positions filled, I will fund them just to help save costs. Okay, and same thing for the jail, for this new division.
Commissioners? Good.
Okay. That takes care of the jail correction. Same thing for the juvenile correctional. There is a nurse in that position that will move into the new division, the jail correctional medicine. A small increase, but we're going to put them on the same structure as the jail correctional medicine. Within the juvenile, it's a no cost to the county, is to create a position from juvenile supervision officer to lead juvenile supervision. Like I said, no cost to the county. The next step is going to be Constable 1 has requested a salary grade change for the deputies. For those 3 positions, it is a total of $20,668. Last year, they fought for them to be on the same ranges as the sheriff's office. I did not propose it that way because I asked for a career ladder to be created by the constables, and I want all of them to agree upon it. They couldn't all agree, and so it went to the adoption process. Commissioner Berry has requested during the adoption process and made a motion to put them on a salary range, which was granted, which gave them the 5% cost of living plus an additional 5%, so they received a 10% cost last year. This year, same thing. They have yet to come together to create a same career ladder because if they wanted to be structured like the other law enforcement, they need to have a career ladder to benefit from it. Still, nothing has came forth from all the constables, but they do want to have a salary increase to offset the request is $20,000. It's not a priority, and so I was going to push it back to the compensation study.
Commissioners?
That's good.
Good.
Well, I don't want to be seen as not supporting my constable for
I support them as well.
$2.25 an hour, but I understand.
So we need a career ladder
I-
that we can put in the master plan, and we rely on the compensation study.
You know, we keep talking about the compensation study, but we haven't even approved the study yet. And so, you know, I just, you know, we got to approve the study, then we got to go out for bids, then we got to, so, you know, we're talking about possibly another year, year and a half, possibly.
I'm hoping that it would be on the next few agenda items for the commissioners to approve. It's not up to me. I'm just budget.
Yeah, but like I said,
Correct.
we keep talking about the study as if it's a
But
given.
we have some expert witnesses that would like to make a couple comments, but Commissioner Watson, your point is heard loud and clear, and I think when we get to that in the next few days, it's becoming more and more obvious how important it is for this compensation package. But between Ms. Turner and Jennifer, I think we have some comments.
I'm Marcy Turner, First Assistant County Auditor, Precinct 1. There are 3 members of the compensation committee that evaluated the proposals that are in the room. And I just want you to know that we are very close to being able to recommend an award in the next couple of weeks.
But I think in the context of what we're doing right now, you know, it's almost like we already have a study going, it almost sounds like we have a study going forward and we don't have an approved study yet. And so.
And the goal is to have the information to try to implement that
I'm
study
glad to
for the
hear
end of
that.
next year.
But it's not,
No, I know, but I just want you to know
Yeah.
that there's
I want. the
there's
study-
activity happening behind the scenes to
Right.
get you
Right.
an
And I
award as
want
soon
it
as
more
we can
than
possible.
expedite and
anything.
move
but-
quickly.
Yeah, I want it more than anything. We're just not there yet. So it's, when the study comes, then we'll be able to do the different compensation packets and title changes and whatever, and we're not even there yet, let alone what the impact that it's going to have now.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Excellent point.
And keep in mind.
Jennifer, did you want to say anything?
Okay.
She covered exactly what I was going to say. Sorry, Jennifer Salazar, HR, also Precinct 1. I don't know how much I can say about it. The committee did meet. We have selected a finalist. I think there's actually the whole committee is actually present here today. And the next step was for purchasing to start negotiating the contract and then bring that to the court for approval. So like Nina said, within the next few weeks, we expect it to be in front of y'all.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to
And
make
so
a note.
Just,
Go ahead.
let me just ask a question. So one of the challenges I see is standardization and marketability, right?
Right.
So I assume that that's going to look at not just what our folks are doing, so it's standardized across constable's office,
Right.
sheriff's office deal, but also looking at the market that we're competing.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, internal and external equity.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Nettles.
Okay.
Ms. Payne?
If the court decides to approve this wonderful study that we truly need, I just want to make a note that it will take us probably several years to get to the whole shebang of the study. It can't happen overnight. And
Exactly.
it might be a lot of money for us to move in that direction, so we're going to have to take it in chunks. And so I ask for the court and for all the county team to be patient with the people that have to make these decisions as the court when we move forward if this goes through.
Well, it's not only just us, but it's also the folks who are requesting, in this case, for the folks that are requesting salary changes based on what they see in terms of what's happening right now. And you're saying, that's my only point is, we don't have this, we don't even have a person, a company, a consulting firm to do this study, and then what it will take to go through and do a fair assessment to a standardized across positions. And so we're talking about everything on hold for the study to go forward, a year and a half, a year to 2 years possibly, before we have a standardized
Correct.
pay system,
Correct.
a
And-
career
and-
ladder system, whatever.
the
I-
meantime-
I'm just being Debbie
No, you're
here. I'm just being Debbie in terms of what it's going to take. And so that's what you're pretty much saying. Until
Yes.
we can standardize this, y'all hold up.
Please.
Okay.
But what you said, I want to make sure
Yes.
people heard that, what I think you were saying. The study could take a year and a half, 2 years, but you're saying it could take a while to get people bumped up to ranges that the study identifies that they're underpaid. Also, we could be freezing some positions because they may be over.
Possibly.
And in the meantime, we're looking at a 4% COLA this year. So it's not like the county is doing nothing and.
For the employees.
Right.
Well, I understand that.
No, I wasn't direct toward, I'm stating what I'm hearing.
And I want to be wise, we want to be wise to the taxpayer dollar.
Right.
And so
Right.
if we can help everybody with a small, amount with the cost of living, that would be wise versus granting over $2 million worth of wants and needs right now.
Yeah, that's, yes. And then we
Well
have,
said.
just a reminder, there have been COLAs in the last
past. Mhm.
years. Yeah,
Right,
right.
right.
And this might be our last one. It just depends on how things go. Okay? This goes to the Constable 4, the same request regarding his chief deputy and his deputies, as well as his administrative secretary. Total cost to the increase is over $59,000. Same thing, I think we need to hold off for the compensation study. Hate to be a revolving story, but I think we need to hold off. The next 4 positions, one's a title change for the forensic services to get them aligned with the other medical divisions, as well as to create the death investigator and lab technicians. Like I said, the salary is unfunded. The only thing that my system budgets is the health insurance. I have not discovered how to write over that, but until then, I have to budget the health insurance, okay?
Right.
It's a lot cheaper than budgeting the whole amount. We'll come back to the court when those positions are hired. That way we can budget, we'll move money for the prorated amount and not the full annual salary. The next are going to be the Road and Bridge division regarding all the increases to delete to create. I think that these are warranted, but I also think that we need to look at this department as a whole. Last year, HR and I tried to restructure based on the CDLs to try to sit there and give them stipends if they have a CDL, what positions had to have a CDL, Is it required? And it was a bigger undertaking at the time, and so that's why it'd be best for a third party to help us to review this department. But I think that maybe next year, if the court would like to advise HR to look into restructuring this and to comparing it to other departments, they can. But I think that this is part of the compensation study when you move this request into that category.
Good.
Keeping everybody on the same page. The only question I would have is the certified herbicide specialist. Do we already have that in place, or with the new truck coming on board, is that necessary?
So in yesterday's, or in the other day discussion, that it was either trucker position, so there was a truck that was proposed in the budget. And so I don't know if y'all want to move forward in creating this position.
Commissioners?
I might have missed the obvious answer just now, but if we're getting the truck, we need the position.
You don't have to have the position. You could have a bigger truck so they could spray more area.
So we do have a herbicide.
Yes, you do have a
Driver
herbicide
currently.
position
We could hold on to
currently.
that, yeah, okay, so there again, yeah, if we had that herbicide specialist now driving the bigger truck, held on to that smaller truck and revisited next year position.
We
Yeah,
could do that.
we're going from 250 gallons to 1,000 gallons in
Correct.
the new truck, so.
saving
might
your
go
own fuel,
faster.
time,
Yeah.
and
You know, yes, it will save time. And then we can reevaluate the position again in 2027.
just wanted to be clear, make sure we're covered. Commissioners,
Yes,
Yes.
let's move on.
so, again, keeping the current position, moving them to the new vehicle when it becomes available, holding on to the old vehicle for now.
There will still be a herbicide certified position this year, next year, until y'all decide to change it.
Sure.
And they
So
could
are
drive the
we-
new truck.
So we're not approving the requested, for example, the floodplain person to the office supervisor, we're not approving that?
I think the compensation study,
Compensation
reviewing the
study.
job descriptions to making sure that this is the direction we need to go, I think it needs to be
Across
part of
all
that.
departments, not showing any favorites, doing what's
Correct.
fiscally
I
responsible.
got you, I just wanted to be sure I'm
Nope, I
understanding.
appreciate your comments, Commissioner Watson, sorry, thank you.
That's okay, no.
Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, I skipped over Expo. It's a given. Expo, they're wanting to delete a position to create a position, which is a lower cost to the county. They're saving $12,000, so put that as a party, since it was a savings.
Sure.
Are you all ready for the drum line?
Yes,
Total request of 2026 was 2.3 million. You've only, what's in the budget as of today? $1,052.52. That is what is already added into the budget as party ones. Do you have any questions about that?
Commissioners,
Going once,
No question.
going twice? When it comes to grant funding, those are special. We'll go into a little bit more detail next Tuesday. We did receive the TIDC grant award letters for the mental health, for the pellet, as well as the current grant yesterday. I haven't had time to review those requests. I will bring those to the table next Tuesday. And so the grant will be covering those. Besides the current grant where we have to pay 60% out of county funds. And so I'll present that to you all next Tuesday. I do want to make a note that MPO is a grant. It's not part of the county operations, but it is a decrease to the total number of FTEs that we have under the county. Any questions?
Commissioners,
Great job.
and what is on the agenda for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we are going to start the general fund presentations by the departments. We're going to start with general government first because that is a big portion of our budget. And the departments will come up and they'll kind of go over their increases, decreases. If y'all have questions, you're more than happy to ask. In your packets, you have the budget worksheets that show all the red that we try to decrease throughout each budget. It should be short and sweet. But I do want the departments to present their budget to you, and if you have questions about what they do, what they're going to do, their aspirations for next year, you're more than happy to ask.
Time do we start tomorrow?
9?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
Yeah. Just check, just
Bring
embossing it.
snacks. It's going to be a long day. But I'm breaking it up based on function, because I
no,
want
no,
the,
that's
I want
fine.
the, I want the public to understand how much it costs to run general government, which is, budget, purchasing, facility services versus the judicial side, law enforcement and public health. And so I want the public to understand how much each division and who's in that division, so they can kind of get a bigger picture. Okay?
Does this conclude this morning's
You
workshop?
are free to go.
Ms. Payne, thank you. All the team members of the
Thank you.
county out there, thank you for your testimony. This morning, it is 11:26. We are adjourned.